Hi, Candy here. I am here to just talk with you a little bit about astrology and how I use it in my business and my practice when I'm dealing with people, when I'm mindscaping with people. I definitely look at charts, but I also ask lots of questions. And a lot of people get astrology mixed up with like fortune telling and stuff like that. And it's so far from that. It's really a very, very reliable source of who people are simply because it's based on your elemental makeup. And when you're looking at all of the elements of the chart, you know what you're looking at, which doesn't really take that long if you're very interested in it, then you're able to see people's tendencies. Now, these things aren't here to overtake you, they're just showing natural tendencies, strengths, weaknesses, blind spots, things that you could be on the lookout for, loops, and things that you keep repeating over and over and over. Um, but one thing I look at, um, not strictly through charts, but through conversation, is people's level of conversation. I have the ability to talk to people on all levels, but my preference is to be able to really, really break down cosmology and quantum physics and human behavior and the thing that's behind the thing that's behind the thing, all types of esoteric knowledge, um, the invisible world, things that are happening that you can't see with the naked eye, examining feelings and the effects that the ripple effects that things that we see have on the body, and all of those things are of utmost importance to me. So, in evolutionary astrology, the foundation of it is what your soul has come here to do, where your soul has been, what it has come here to do, and why it's so important to understand that is because when you're generally telling people what they need to do to change their lives, everybody's operating on a different conscious level, and they're getting different results, and they're not aware as to why they're getting these different results. Well, if you look a little closer, aside from intellect, there's a spiritual component to people's um, evolution, and desire determines evolution. Okay, so remember that desire determines evolution. Whatever level of desire you have to be greater, not better than anybody else, but greater than yourself, greater than you already are. This is all about you and your ability to get closer and closer and in alignment with Source, with the creator of all things. So the more you desire that, the greater your potential for reaching higher levels of consciousness becomes. If it really isn't your cup of tea to delve into that type of thing, then more than likely you're in the consensus state, meaning that you're with about 70% of the population. Um, in the first stage, these people are just worker bees. They are here to just work. They can do grunt work. They can do just about anything that most people who are more evolved just don't want to do, because their their mind is not preoccupied with anything else. They go to sleep, they wake up, they go to the bathroom, and they go to work. They come home, they eat, they go to the bathroom, they go to sleep. And then they wake up and do it all over again. And if you introduce anything else into these people's lives, it can throw them off tremendously. If you want to sit down and have a deep conversation with them, they get frustrated. They think it's, useless. They only can conceptualize what's directly in front of them. Um, so that's stage one. And then you have stage two, where these are the people that keep up with the Joneses. So they do more than go home. They may go out, they hit the hot clubs, they have the best clothes, they look good, they smell good, they have great positions on their jobs, they're getting promotions on their jobs. They are putting away for retirement. They take regular vacations. And, they're in debt, but that's okay. That's all a part of getting the American dream. This is level two. And they are about, where the other group is about surviving. This group is a little bit more on a higher level of surviving. But they're still not thriving, even though they think that they are. They're doing all of the things that everybody else wish they could do. Then you have your third group. This third group has mastered group one and stage one and stage two. Okay. In stage three, these are the people who are in charge, and they tell everybody else what to do. They are making the wise investments. They are your entrepreneurs who are, just focused on building their business and doing these things, making deals, and, just being above group or stage one or stage two. They feel like if they're over that, then they have accomplished something. Well, the thing about this consensus group is they are reactors. They are triggered by everything around them. If the politics moves, they move with it. If the economy moves, they move with it. Whatever's going on, whatever's happening, if there's the latest cancer treatment, they're on it. They buy into the fact that, traditional medicine is the best. They're not necessarily into holistic or preventive medicine. When this group comes to me, they're all about just manifesting the house, the car, the love of their life. And that's it, pretty much. And I can just about tell, okay, this is where they are. If they are married, they're really concerned about, the status of marriage more so than the marriage itself. They're just concerned about the institution, what it looks like, what people think of them is extremely important. And so this group is the group that I least like working with, because they're very dense, meaning that their spiritual self, which is much transcendent, is hard to penetrate. Okay, they are all concrete, very difficult to penetrate. So if you're introducing possibilities and other realities and what if this and what about that and just the wonders of life, they're not interested in any of that. They're not interested in understanding, waking up the consciousness and the different levels of consciousness and how to actually change their life from the inside out. They're all about doing things from the outside in. Okay? So that is the consensus group. Again, that's about 70% of the population. If you come to me and you ask me about very mundane things, I know that you are technically in the consensus group. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're in the other two stages or groups of consciousness that you don't desire a nice home or a nice car or something like that. It simply means that that's not your primary focus, that you're going to get there through other means. So, after this video, I'm going to follow up with the second stage. Okay, so you can look at all three of them and gauge just about where you are. All right, reconstruct the world by reconstructing your mind. I know you can do it. Bye.